I think we are live. Hello, hello, my beautiful people. Hello, Body, Mind, and Soul provider is Adriana here. Welcome, welcome back to another Circle Connection Circle event on this beautiful Sunday morning or evening, whatever is for you when you're watching this. It's our pleasure to be here, and we have a full house. We have amazing people joining us, and I'm so looking forward to hear where they're from and what are their gifts today. So welcome today. Let's say hello to Lorna and Michelle, my beautiful co-host as well. I'm Michelle. She just disappeared, but she will pop up in
I'm
here.
here. I'm
There
here.
she is. She is. She has
Hi,
the
guys.
magic. And definitely, it's our pleasure and honor for you to take the time to be here with us and let us know the amazingness you have and the gifts that you bring into this world, because definitely I know that the world needs you. So we're gonna do a quick round around the table where we introduce ourselves, 30 seconds, or let's just say your name, your title, and where you're tuning from. So we're gonna start with Jonathan.
Hello, Jonathan Marion, a transformational life coach, consultant, and speaker, and currently in Portugal.
Ooh, all the way from Portugal. I love that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we have people all over the world. Let's go to Elsa.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Yeah, my name is Elsa Stephanie. I'm from Ireland. Well, I'm from Latvia, but I live in Ireland. So I am a rapid transformational therapist. I'm also a past life regression therapist, and I'm also a spiritualist and psychic medium. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. Europe is in the house. That's what I'm talking. I'm originally from Romania, so I'm hooting for my people.
Amazing, thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, let's go to my very, very close name, Adrian.
Hi there. I'm Adrian. I am a mentor and healer for relationships, primarily working with single women, but I am from New Jersey.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. US in the house. Okay, so let's go to Michael.
I'm Michael. I'm from about 30 minutes from New Orleans, Louisiana, in the USA. I am a mindset coach, speaker, and entrepreneur.
Ooh, beautiful, beautiful. I can't wait to hear it because I'm all about mindset, Michael, too. So I can't wait to hear all about you. Amazing. And let's say hello again to our amazing friend, Mark. Hello, Mark.
Good morning, everybody. How are you today? My name is Mark Rodriguez from Santa Fe, New Mexico. I am a speaker, author, and transformational empowerment coach.
Amazing, beautiful. And let's go to know our co-host as well, Lorna.
I'm Lorna, and I'm here in Western Canada in beautiful British Columbia with the snow falling. And I'm the sex and spirit alchemist of the feminine-led life.
Amazing. And our other beautiful co-host, Michelle.
Hey, guys. I'm Michelle Beauchard. I am on the way west coast of Canada on Vancouver Island, and I call myself the natural entrepreneur. I'm a digital doula and mission technician. I help people craft and build their online offers that are natural for them.
Amazing, amazing. And yours, truly is yours, Adriana Di Marvel. I'm tuning from Edmonton, Alberta in Canada. Snow is here too, it's official. We've been having a bit of snow for the last couple of days. And I was called, this is a title that someone else put on me, which is, we all see her there, Michelle. And other people, they call me a brain mechanic and also a transformational speaker. So thank you so much for everyone for being here, being part of this beautiful, amazing day where we're gonna learn to connect and know each other a little bit more and hear your beautiful gifts. So I'm gonna pass it on to our second round, which is Lorna's gonna take it away, and she's gonna guide us towards this. Lorna?
Right. Welcome. We're so glad that you are each and all here, and we're really looking forward to our time together in circle. I usually have, Michael says 78 degrees here and sunny. Nice. I usually put the timer on, and for some reason it's not showing. We're out of power here. Our power is down here right now, so I'm doing hot spotting and going on battery. So I have a feeling that the battery is just not able to deal with the additional app as well. So here we go. So in this first round, there are, and as Michelle has put into the chat, there are 3 different questions, and you can mix them up as you choose in whatever order. But the first one is to speak to, what are your gifts? And this isn't about, oh, what are the freebies you're giving? It's not that. What are the gifts that you bring to the world? So that's the first one. The second one is, who do you serve and how? So that might be, do you do one-on-ones, retreats, speaking? How do you serve your people? And the third one is why? So that's how we'll do it. And we'll just sort of go, we won't necessarily go, thank you, Adriana. If you would do, I think 5 minutes would be great. Thank you. And you'll see the little timer up in the corner, and just allows you to just really sink in without trying to think, oh, what's my time? Just sink into it. And if it gets to the end, there's a little chime probably that will go off, which will be great. So as you're speaking, and I really just go intuitively as an intuitive energy healer as well, I just really tune into who is to share next. When it's your turn, as we're listening, just picking up a thread of something you heard of somebody, you might resonate with them. You might think, oh, I've gone through that too, or something that just really connects. You're going to take that thread and weave it into your introduction of yourself, and then share of those 3 questions. All right. One of the things that we really find is that if you can, and I know that this comes from experience, that have the little script. What am I going to say? And the thought, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? I don't even really, I'm not even listening or hearing what other people are sharing. So I'm inviting you to put down any paper scripts, any mental scripts, and just listen and connect in that way. And then when it's your turn, then the thread, you just pick that up. The next person that comes will pick a thread from something that you've shared, connect that, and then share into their 3 questions. And we'll just sort of weave it that way. Then at the end, we'll close the circle, if you will, by the first person who went will now get to pick a thread from the last person who shared. So we're going to start that way. And again, welcome. We're really glad that you are here and the gifts that you are bringing with us. I'm feeling today, Jonathan, if you will begin and start for us. Thank you.
Sure. So I guess part of it for me is that I feel like when people live, connect, and communicate authentically, it sends out ripples, both in the people they interact with, but then how those people show up in the world. So it sends out ripples, which send out ripples, which make a more caring and connected place, one ripple at a time. And so I really see my role as a transformational life coach, consultant, and speaker to be supporting and being a catalyst for people to show up with the greatest authenticity. And so it's really about helping people figure out their how, not their what. And it's about being human beings. We're not just human doings. And so much of society today is about accomplishments and external measures of success. And I lived through that. I was an academic faculty member. I was a professor of cultural anthropology for 20 years. And it got to a point where I was on a research trip in Brazil and found that I felt more at home staying in a small guest bedroom of a friend than in my house at home, even though the guest bedroom was smaller than my closet. And it all had to do with quality of relationships. And that the people who cared about me as Jonathan the person made my life far richer and more meaningful and fulfilling than a life that was attached to external accomplishments such as the next, book contract or the next grant or the next teaching evaluation. And so that's what actually had me pivot away from my life in academia. And so having lived that experience, I really and primarily work with people who are accomplished by external measures. And that could be anything from a school teacher to a CEO, but find that life isn't as meaningful and fulfilling as they either thought it was going to be or want it to be. And so helping them figure out what's their how. And part of that is also when I was in the transition period myself, I had a severe spinal injury and nerve damage. And for a while, didn't even know if I was going to walk again. And so it really was an existential challenge about considering, are we of the same value? Am I even the same Jonathan if I can't do all the things I did before? And so that really brought being into the center for me And so then I use it as an acronym. And so anyone I work with, speak to, part of what I really try and do and facilitate is help people get very clear on the B in being is begin where you are. The E is explore where you're going. The I is identifying your options for, how to navigate between the two. The N is for now start. And the G is get your best. And doesn't mean it's a finished process and it's done, but it means taking time to recognize all the growth and progress and everything we've added to our toolkit in our lives, and that we now also have a process that we can use on repeat going forward. So yeah, that's pretty much who I am and what I do, and I'll leave it at that.
It's amazing, Jonathan. And how do you work one-to-ones? Do you do groups? Do you have a how do you deliver your services?
Yeah, so for coaching, I do both one-to-one and groups and have both available. Consulting, obviously, it's on a case-by-case basis as I'm contracted for it. And speaking, it's the same thing as what I'm contracted for. And then in very interesting ways that run parallel and sometimes overlap and sometimes don't, I also bring a lot of the same things into partner dancing. I also teach primarily Brazilian Zouk now, but I have backgrounds in salsa and ballroom as well. But again, about being authentic and how you show up with yourself, for yourself, and therefore how you can show up and be in relationship with others as well, based on what's authentic to you and with whatever's the least extra effort and the most ease, and therefore taking out any unnecessary tension, again, in our own lives and our own bodies and in how we show up with other people.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That sounds like a lot of fun you're having down in Portugal.
I know I'm coming in Europe next year in spring, so I'm gonna be in Italy, so I might come to do a bit of dancing. I love dancing.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Yeah, as I listen to you, just really confirms over and over again, like, wow, what an incredible person, and the kind of people that show up here, that feel drawn to come here. So thank you. Michelle, you're the one to pick up a thread from something that Jonathan has shared with us, please.
Oh yeah, I love the well, being, calling myself the natural entrepreneur, I really resonated with the being, not doing piece, because being who we are naturally is what I love to help people package up, and it's part of living out our soul's purpose and tuning into our true nature, and what we're here to execute, what we're here to learn, what we're here to, all of the pieces that we each have a natural gift inside of us. I'm going to start with my why though, before I get into what I do, because it's kind of technical. So I'm a mom of a guy on the autism spectrum and a beautiful daughter as well. And the journey in supporting my son's nonverbal and self-injurious behaviors over the years has taken our family on lots of different ups and downs and journeys. And part of that was running a hands-on, in-home and community care business for him and for other families. And when COVID happened and we shut it down, I pivoted, as many of us did, and started serving the community in the digital world. But I realized that what we were doing, was great for the kids, great for the families, great for the workers. But it was just barely breaking even. And I wanted to figure out how to serve the community that I was, helping with my hands-on care online during COVID. And then I also thought, well, we need this is such an essential service. Like, I was not willing to kind of like just permanently put it down, and I knew that it wasn't breaking even. So I'm like, my mama bear kicked in. I'm like, it should not be easier to order pizza to your house and have that as a business that works out in the world than it is to get complex needs childcare to your home by qualified care workers. And so we should be able to have that. So I thought, well, okay, how can we have a little bit of extra revenue to come into the business to make it possible for these parents to still get the respite that they need? They're exhausted running around many, many medical appointments. The school system and the government systems sort of have been failing them. And I thought, okay, well, I went through all the things. I went through, stocks and cryptos and MLMs and all of the things that, someone can do. And I ended up doing a whole bunch of training in online business. And one day I was sort of thinking, oh, well, I'm on TikTok and, there's this kid with, gold teeth and driving a Lamborghini. I'm like, there's money in the interwebs. Why can't we just like directly take that earning potential and apply it to subsidize care for kids and families who need it, because it's just not happening otherwise. And so I became interested in social purpose enterprise, and in the process of learning how to craft online offers, what tech is needed, all of these pieces. Over time, I just became a coach in terms of how to craft and market your offer online. And then I decided, well, it's not enough to just like have your idea. You need to build out the things that make it possible faster. And because I really feel like these natural gifts that we have, my son was one of my greatest teachers in that way, is he can't speak, but he has gifts inside of him that need to be shared. And I feel that same way about every human. We each have these gifts inside of us that need to be shared. And I found out through the process of doing all this that what I really love, my mom was a nature artist, and she taught me the value of the natural world very early. I love to connect to things outside, and I used to love to go to the beach and pick up rocks and look at how beautiful they were. And I said, people are like these gems, these rocks, and everybody is unique and different and beautiful. So I love to help them polish up their online offers. And then the money go from the digital marketing and web services and funnels and affiliate programs and all the things that you need, communities, all the things that I build, the revenues from that goes to subsidize hands-on care for families. So I'm a social purpose entrepreneur who uses the money from digital marketing to support families like mine. So that's what I do and why. And I'm honored that you're all here. It's lovely to see you. And looking forward to hearing from the rest of you about this.
Thank you, Michelle. And quick question, who do you serve?
I serve anybody who's interested in developing online business, or people who have online businesses and need to automate and scale their businesses with using technology. So CRMs and AI and all those things, how to apply them to increase your sales and get your gift out there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And is that one-on-ones, group? How does that work for you?
I do the coachings. I do have an 8-week program that's being turned into an on-demand program. I have a 12-week program that's a co-creator program where I build out your offer ecosystems with you, and then build your audience and your tech, and go through how to get your sales processes all lined up with the funnels and all of that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, that's a 12-week done with you, and then I do done for you services.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. And I know that you are amazing from the work that we have done together. So it's really, really beautiful. Awesome. Thank you. All right, Mark, if you can now please pick up a thread of something that Michelle connected, letting her know that you've been hearing and connecting in with what she's sharing, and weave that into your own share, please.
Well, some things that stood out for me were words like development and need. And in an ever-changing world, we need to be developing ourselves at every opportunity. In an ever-changing world, if we're not a constant work in progress, we're going to land up in trouble real quick. And my whole thing is I'm about self-care. I was once one of the strongest stonemasons in the trade. but I mistook, actually, I was one of the toughest. And I mistook the word tough for strong and powerful. See, when you're tough, you're tough enough to survive, but that does not mean you're okay. And when you don't place importance on self-care, you start to lose love of self. You start to lose love for yourself. When you lose love for yourself, you start losing respect for yourself. So if this is all happening, then how can you expect to instill self-discipline and get to the places where we need to be, where we're supposed to be, if we have the proper development? And the thing about self-discipline is it's really just doing the things that we dislike the most in our training and our development, but doing them as though we love them. That's self-discipline. That's saying no to our friends and then saying yes to the plan. We're saying yes to the work that has to go into the process. But many times we kind of shy away from the work when it comes to ourselves. When I say this, and I say this from a relational point of view, in a relationship, when someone lets you down or they lie to you, or they move against you in the wrong way, you lose trust for them, right? Well, the same thing happens with ourselves, with the relationship we have with ourselves, because many times we have let ourselves down. Many times we have lied to ourselves. Many times we have been abusive to ourselves and not listened and not taken care of ourselves. So just like any other relationship, we have to rebuild that trust with ourselves. And when we don't do that, and that's when we start the options like finding the biggest broom and the biggest rug to sweep it under, because that becomes an option, or the darkest corner in the closet becomes an option. Or unfortunately, some of us choose alcohol or drugs, or even worse, some of us choose anger and frustration and stress and depression. When we don't place self-care as an importance, we land up in trouble real quick. And so what does that look like? First of all, for me, it looked like removing all of the negative things that I was doing to myself. Because in this world, the only thing you're guaranteed is to get your butt kicked, right? That's the only one I've ever heard of. I've never heard of any other one. So having said that, why do we insist on keep getting in line to participate in our own butt kicking? And so the people that I serve are the ones that are operating in self-sabotage, the ones that are amplifying negatives, the ones that are feeding their fears and doubts, because those are the things that will keep us back from reaching the greatness that God has for us. And he has it for each and every one of us. He doesn't make things that aren't great. See, the thing that we get mixed up is God does not make losers and quitters. The society does, our bad habits, our behaviors, our excuses do every single day. God only makes winners and warriors. And so we have to remember that. And anyone who's listening, I'm talking to you. We have to remember that. Okay, so if you don't see your greatness, nobody else will either. If you don't believe that it's possible, why would anybody else believe in something you don't believe in? And how could it ever become the reality if you don't believe it? Here and here first. Because if you do, you won more than half the battle. The actual physical act, that's the easy part, just the body following orders. And so we have to stay connected and strengthen our body, our mind, and our soul equally for a stronger whole.
Thank you so much. Definitely some passion there. I love it.
I'm
That's
very,
wonderful.
very serious about the work that I do because I've been there.
Yeah.
I ignored self-care, and that's how I landed up on my deathbed.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
It's a miracle that I'm off that deathbed. I've had 2 double lung transplants, but I still was able to return to my craft and my passion for stonework and become the only stonemason in the history of the world to ever do that. And so if that's possible, then anybody's anything is possible. It just starts here and here.
There you go. Beautiful. Thank you. There's the power of the lived experience in what you bring to your people, what we each do. Thank you so much, Mark. Adriana, it's your turn, please.
Oh, you knew I was in sync with Mark. I can feel it. I'm like, I feel the passion, Mark. I know it. I'm a very passionate person as well when it comes to the relationship with ourselves. This is something that I had to learn it like Mark on your own skin. Because if you don't learn it on your own skin, you will never learn it. Doesn't matter how much your parents, the environment, the amazing people around you, they will tell you. Sorry, I didn't put my time. There you go. I need to keep myself accountable. And when it comes to why, my why is because it's the part of my story, you know. And maybe you'll find yourself in this story as well. You know, when we grow up as children, we have two needs: the need of attachment and the need of authenticity. And most of us, including myself, I choose attachment and not authenticity. So I lost who I was. I lost who I was in the hopes of that if I'm attached to someone, parents, you know, culture and people around me, then I'm going to be safe. And if I'm safe, then I'm going to be okay and I'm going to survive, because it's the survival mechanism in our minds and brains. And I choose attachment and I've lost myself. And like Mark was saying, that when you lose yourself, then you become someone else. And then life hits you, you know, I call universe gives you a hinge, gives you a nudge, and then it's not, you don't listen. It gives you a divorce, it gives you a disease, it gives you a financial breakup, it gives you whatever those things happen. And then until one day it says, universe, you're not listening. You're not listening, Adriana. I don't know what to do with you. I give you a divorce, you're not listening. I give you asthma, I give you health problems, you're not listening. I give you $25,000 in debt, you're not listening. And then he took a 2x4 and he hit me so hard and he put me on my knees until I couldn't even stand up. And that was one of the many moments when I woke up and I realized that I look in the mirror and I didn't recognize the person in the mirror. And when I didn't recognize her, then I got scared. I'm like, I feel like I'm living with a stranger. And that's where all my fears came up: the fear of being alone, the fear of being rejected, the clinginess to all my relationship and why I was doing that. And then I started realizing the question was like, okay, if everything in my life is not true and is not who I am, then who I am and who I want to become. And that brought me into my own journey of self-discovery. And the best thing is to have create a better relationship with yourself, or at least starting a relationship with yourself. And that was me. I started a relationship with myself. I started knowing myself. I started going in dates with myself, literally and figuratively, figuring out who I am. And then I learned how to unlearn everything I have learned until, you know, in my 30s, and then start learning what I actually want to keep here and what I want to flourish in here in my heart. And that gave me, you know, the insights of why I'm here. And my goal and my why is to help people to help themselves to come back to themselves, to return to who they truly are through authenticity. Because I truly believe that authenticity is the highest vibration in the scale of even the emotional, Hawking's emotional scale. Authenticity is one of the highest, not even love, not even everything else. So I help people, those that are like me, those that are like trailblazers, people that love to dive into who they are, even if it's always going to be painful, but they're going to do it anyway. Passionate people about life and about other people, and people that know that they have a bigger mission in their life than just what they think they have until now. And those that are very curious. I'm a very curious child. I love to answer the question why. I ask everything. Why is this happening? Why a tree is a tree? Why this is happening in my life? So that's the people I help, and how I help it is mostly to speaking, because that's how I found my voice, and I have a mission to bring into this world. And also through coaching, speaking, workshops. I love live events, online events, you name it. Anything that I can be around in a room, virtual or in person with a person, it's my jam because I love being around people. And like Michelle called me a brain mechanic, one of my gifts is to not just see the surface of what you're saying, but actually see what is underneath it. And like a brain mechanic, when the light is up, I'm just going to dive deep and find what's happening underneath your hood and figure it out, bring it to the surface to allow it to heal. Because you're the only person can heal. I cannot heal. So I don't call myself a coach. I actually call myself more of a guide. I'm there to guide you because you are the only mechanic on your life. You are the one that can fix, accept, change, transform you and your life. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you.
Awesome, Adriana. Thank you. Thank you. A question in that amazing work that you do, and I know I've been able to benefit from it as well. Who do you serve? Like in what format? Do you do one-on-ones, groups? How do you work? How do you serve?
Yes, most of them it's speaking on engagement, speaking places, events, virtual, podcast. I have my own podcast as well, loving to collaborate with other people. I do one-on-ones as well. I do a little bit of dive deeper for those that have brave enough to go with me and dive deep into the root cause of what's happening on them. And also I love to, have a community where we all come together to different conversations, because I truly believe that what heal us and we help to heal us ourselves is through all community. When we come together, that we're all here. Nobody is smarter than nobody, and we all have something to learn from each other. And I see it in my life when I speak, when I share things or I hear other people sharing, I'm like, oh, I never think about that. And something clicks again inside me. And then that's another missing piece that I needed in my life. So I think speaking is huge and helps us a lot. So that's a little bit of how I do it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Adriana. Michael, your turn next. Please share.
I'm glad you picked me because I think like it's almost like Adriana was like reading my mind. Everything like I believe, everything I say, everything I go by. It was like she was speaking for me. Like I coach, but I don't call myself a coach. Like I guide people. Like I'll walk with you through it. I'll give you everything I can possibly give you. But I see all these coaches, I promise you this, I guarantee this. I can't do that because I can promise you I'm gonna give you everything I have, but I can't promise you that your life's gonna change unless you put the work in. All these coaches, all these gurus nowadays have these guarantees and these promises. It's like, no, if they don't do the work, it's not going to happen. I mean, I'm 100% straightforward, transparent, and I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm a coach that, I'm going to guide you, I'm going to lead with you, I'm going to walk with you through it. But I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. And I think that's a big thing that people want when they get coaches and when they get mentors or therapists is the biggest thing. A therapist is going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. Your feelings are going to get hurt because you're actually going to hear what you need to hear. And that's the biggest thing in life today that nobody gets. They want to hear what they want to hear. Well, you're going to be stuck right where you are. And so the reason I became a mindset coach is, so in 2018, I had a knee surgery, just normal regular knee surgery. And I developed a blood clot in my lung. Well, I found that I had 5 blood clot disorders and I had 3 sarcoidosises, which basically has never in human history been together in one body. It's like basically it's impossible. So if they treat one thing, it messes with the other thing. And then they found out I have adrenaline disorder. So if they give me medicine, my body kicks the medicine out. So I was pretty much like, okay, I'm done. But I didn't think that. The doctor's like, somebody dies every 33 seconds of a blood clot. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So then I got another one and another one and another one. And 44 pulmonary embolism later, being pronounced dead 13 times later, I continue to tell what I didn't do is I didn't listen to the doctors. Because my mindset, I told myself, no, I'm not giving up. They told me you need to slow down, change life drastically, you need to stay home, you need to start relaxing. I'm like, that's not happening. What I said was, excuse my language, you're fucking crazy. And I kept moving every day. I kept pushing. I worked just as hard. I worked out every day. I said, I'm the person that's in charge of my life is me. There's no sickness. There's no doctor. There's no Lord. There's no Jesus. I don't care who they are. I'm in control of me. And that's why I try to teach. That's what I do. I want to show people that their mindset, your mind only knows what you teach it and what you tell it. That's it. So if you wake up every morning and you think what happened yesterday wrong, or you think the problem, I guarantee your day is gonna be full of problems. And I don't have any problem with therapists, but it tends to be that everybody that I talk to, the first thing that they do when they walk into their office is they talk about the problem. Well, then you're going to continue to have problems. On the other hand, I take it differently. I talk about your problem one time. From that point on, I figure out results, solutions, results, solutions. That's it. If you concentrate on the problem, you will have the problem. And I think I see a lot today, especially going through all the politics today we see, and all the social media is I love social media, but I hate it because, it is it's the worst thing around, because it will either bring you up or it'll bring you down when you're down. And people their mindsets are so controlled by social media. And, oh, look, this life's so perfect. They got limos, they got jets, they got all. You want me to go rent a jet and go rent a Lamborghini and stand in front of it and say, look, I'm the best coach in the world? I'm not going to do that. And so many do that today, and they give you all these smoking guns and smoking mirrors. And if you're not willing to do it yourself, I can give you all the guidance impossible. It's just not going to happen. And I'm 100%, I hold people accountable. And with I have a program where you can do a monthly thing, or we have an 8-week program, a 12-week program. But I'm going to walk with you one-on-one. I'm not going to stick you in some group where you got to wait to ask questions. You got to do this whole program and teach yourself. I find that if you're going to teach yourself, you would have done it already. So I walk with you through it. I team up with you. I partner with you. I am there with you every step of the way. But it's not easy. And it's not going to be some little just sunshine and rainbows every day. But you're going to get results. You're going to get what you want out of life. And you're going to see that your mindset is in control of everything. 100%. Whether you're Christian, whether you're Buddhist, whatever you believe in, you can believe in everything you want to believe in. But if your mind's not right, nothing's going to be right.
Wow, amazing. Wow, what an incredible share. Thank you so much, Michael, for sharing that. I'm feeling to go next, so I'm going to weave. There were many points that I connected in along there. That of the medical, and being told this is what it is, and thinking, no, I'm not going to stay with your thing. I choose to live. I choose to not sink into this label and stay with it, but I choose to live fully and let go of the labels. I'm not going to be held by a label. So thank you for sharing that. I think the piece as well that really tapped in is what you shared about the coaches not giving guarantees, or coaches that give guarantees, but kind of that doesn't fit for you. And I recognize that. I really resonate with that in the sense that allowing people that this is their journey, and it really reinforces for me in my work through the sexual realm of things, is how consent, and it's not just restricted to sexual pieces, but in all of our lives, how consent has been overridden because we have this idea that we're supposed to be looking outside of ourselves for a God, for a partner, for pleasure, permission, all of those things, and so this journey of coming back to ourselves, and the gift that I have and that I get to have of supporting people of coming back home to themselves. And it's not just in a physical sense, it's also like in a sexual sense, but in a spiritual sense as well. Through my own when I was teaching, and I taught in the school system for a while, and my body started to shut me down, and then it was okay. That started to become my spiritual journey. I let go of the religious piece of things and stepped into the spiritual experience of unfolding. Who am I? And then along the way, the sexual journey started to open up, and having this what I call my midlife sexual awakening. And it was interesting that after I had that midlife sexual awakening, the poet that I was all of a sudden just became just prolific, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of poems just flowed out. And I would sort of get this, what I call like spidey senses, and it would be, oh, okay, something's coming. I'd get my BlackBerry at the time and just start typing, and then I'd go back and see what just came through. And what I find fascinating to look at it is that majority of the poetry that came through was talking about the illusion of separation and the oneness of who we all are. And so in my work, when I talk about sex and spirit, alchemist of the feminine-led life, for some people they think, oh, does that mean, that, the female-led relationship? Well, for some people that's maybe where it starts. For me, I say it's really about starting to look at the duality of what we've been taught, and by divine design, I say, and as a teacher, that one of my gifts was to teach children how to write stories. And so now, as an avid reader all my life, and to love looking at the story, to be able to say that everything, whether it's a little teeny tiny children's book or a long trilogy, that's hours long of a book or a movie, everything is in its perfect place along the way. So I love supporting people in seeing that everything that has come before has played its perfect role to bring us to where we are. And this aspect, when I look at my 30-year marriage, the role that it played, and up until then, everything that played in hiding who I was, and now in these awakenings that are happening, it's to be able to, it's this awakening to who we truly are. And so one of the gifts that I have is being able to hold safe and sacred space for people to come back into that feeling state of who they truly are, not a mind state, to be able to look at the characters that are at play in the mindset, that stage of the mind, to be able to really come back into and not just know or think about their wholeness, but to actually physically feel it and experience it that way. Why do I do it? There's that piece inside of me that just in my own quest, in my own journey of living fully alive, is to be in awe of what we're experiencing, who we are in our wholeness as divine spirit, and to be able to create experiences as well for people to have that. And it really in many ways as well comes to this healing of the feminine, the healing of the masculine, not outside of us, not in female bodies or male bodies, but the masculine and feminine within us through spirit and form. And the analogy that I love to use is that of the fire. The flame is the feminine, the spirit of who we are. The rocks are like the form or the masculine of who we are. Here we are, each of us burning brightly in these physical bodies as spirit flows through us.
I'm gonna thank you, Lorna, and I'm gonna want to ask you how you work with your clients too, because you did that kindly for several of us. Now, how do you work one-to-one, and what are the mechanisms you use to teach about the feminine-led life and how you bring sex and spirit together?
Thank you. I work one-on-one with people. I'm getting ready I have a private Facebook group for women. I'm getting ready to open up a group that actually supports women and men coming together. I do getting that group to go. I'm a speaker as well. We're award-winning speaker. And I love that gift of being able to share through that way. So whether it's through sharing my poetry, through the speaking, to be able to share it in various ways that way. I do various trainings as well. So an assortment of ways, one-on-one and in group. Thank you for asking, Michelle. All right. And now it comes to Adrienne, please, if you will share with us.
Somehow I knew you were going to pick me. I hope my internet's okay because it said there was a problem with it. So I loved what you were saying about the masculine and feminine within us, because it's totally what I'm all about. A lot of what I do, I hope the internet's okay. A lot of what I do has to do with, well, first of all, I help single women who are primarily in the spiritual space. They don't have to necessarily be of any specific of what they do, but and so what I do is I essentially work with people one-on-one to help them, I guess you could say, maybe I should start over because this was really born from my why has a lot to do with me, this being born from my own experiences within relationships and what I've learned and the shortcuts that I can give to other people. And what I learned primarily has a lot to do with internal work and the internal work being shown externally. And I think that's it's the biggest thing. So this is all about harmony and balance and peace within in order for relationships to be that, in order for relationships to be less of a roller coaster and more of a balance and more in harmony. I hope this is making sense. So primarily what I do, I combine a lot of things, but a lot of practical guidance. There's sort of two sides to me, a lot of practical guidance and a lot of emotional and intuitive insights. So I bring those intuitive insights to a conversation. I talk to these people, and then a lot of things I can tell sort of where they're blocked within internally, and so we go into that to rewrite the stories that their mindset and their emotions which are connected, mind and body. We rewrite those stories, and we're able to finally just let go of those things. So a lot of these women have already done a lot of work on their own. Either they've done it on their own or they worked with other people, but they haven't gotten the answer that they've needed, or they haven't gotten to the place where they feel ready to move forward into a relationship that would be I guess you could say most fulfilling for them. And let's see, a lot of what I do also has to do with diving deep into the root causes, figuring out what needs to be worked through, rewrite the stories, and the mind, because it thinks in metaphors or sees in metaphors. A lot of what we do is very tactile. So when we dive deep, we're going into these energy centers, and I'm able to guide them on a journey. So we get to a place where they feel much more whole and much more in a place where I believe that the paradigm of relationships are changing. The masculine, they're not necessarily roles anymore. That when we come together and into relationships, we sort of just take on. There's a third portion of it, but we sort of have to remain ourselves and be internally, authentically who we are inside of that relationship. And I work, like I said, one-on-one, primarily with women. And a big reason why I do this is because I love to dig into spirituality, psychology, blend all those things together. So it's a lot of transformational healing, a lot aligned with practical guidance, and also my own intuitive and psychic insights into what's going on for them. That's primarily it.
Awesome. So many points there of connection. So I can see how you were hoping to, or you felt to follow in after I had shared, because I certainly see so many connections there as well. You've still got a minute. What else would you like to share? I just really want to hold and open the space for you to continue. What's there for you to share more?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, if you guys can still, sure, absolutely. If you guys can still hear me, I think a lot of what I believe, as far as whatever our mindsets have been created, not just necessarily from our own childhoods and attachment theory, but also from our generation, from generationally past lives, all of those things. I dive deep into all of that with my clients. And I think most people don't understand and don't realize that what's going on with them internally is what is externally being shown to them. And because of that, they're not realizing what's happening inside of their relationships, but it also lends itself to other areas of their lives. And so working just on one area doesn't necessarily exclude you from working on other areas of your life as well. But yeah, I mean, I think that's about it.
Wonderful. Thank you. Saw lots of heads nodding as you continue to share. So thank you. Thank you so much. Elsa, please pick up a thread of something you heard from Adrian and then share, please.
Well, guys, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here and share who I am and my gifts. So basically what I do, I dive deep for my clients really in the root cause. in the root cause of the issue, what they're having. So is it anxiety, or either is mostly my job is always coming back to the inner child healing, because as we all know, because I'm a rapid transformational therapist, so, and based on that, so we know that all the beliefs are created about life, about perspective of life, and about everything. So from the age 0 to 7. And so I really go back to the childhood, and I bring out those limiting beliefs that been created during that time. And sometimes, of course, it could be from the past life as well. So that's why I decided I want to do past life regression and become a therapist as well. So yeah, I don't talk much about pain because, you know, as we all know, like anxiety, stress, fears, or any physical issues, they are only symptoms. There is a root cause why we are having them. So as I say, I go deep and kind of, you know, to understand the client, where it's coming from and what those issues are actually doing for them. First of it, those emotions like fear and anxiety, we all call them bad guys, but they are actually not. They are exactly the same feelings like joy and happiness. They are always trying to protect us from something. So when it's very important to show my clients what they are doing, and when they really understand that they are in control in those emotions, when they start to take the power back, so then it's the magic is happening. So the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, it's because I had very deep trauma in childhood myself. So I lost my identity. I completely lost who I was. And I was married when I was very young, when I was only 19, and the marriage was very toxic, and it was physical and verbal abuse. So, and then 10 years ago, it was kind of last bit when my journey really started. So I lost my brother, and I was searching for all the ways to connect with him. So, and then I was gifted a gift voucher from my friend to go to Medium, and that's my journey started. So I actually was so amazed about connection with spirit. So, and yeah, and that's how I started to become spiritualist. So basically, my starting point was a mediumship, psychic medium. And then when I created this amazing relationship with spirit, guided by them, they were actually guiding me what I need to do. So okay, hypnotherapy, and it's just everything just happened bit by bit. So they just unfolded everything. So that's why one of my messages as well is to everyone who is listening: always trust yourself, and always trust that universe is guiding you. Either it's higher angels or something, whatever you believe, but there is a higher power. So yeah, and then my turning point was 4 years ago. Basically, I was a hairdresser all my life, and I was doing this on the parallel basis, all those studies, of course, because I have to pay for my courses and, you know, support myself for all my studies. And it was very, very overwhelming to do both in the same time. So, and then arthritis came in my body from nowhere. I couldn't move my wrists. I couldn't stand on my feet because my ankles were swelling. So, and then again, I went in deep meditations, and I was asking what it is. And of course, I have my lovely colleagues who would help me with rapid transformational therapy. So the root cause of basically of the illness that I had, it was just because I was going wrong direction. I was overwhelming myself, and my body was exhausted. So I have to give up hairdressing, and that's who I am. That's why I am here, to help other people, because I know myself from my own experience. I've been taking antidepressants, and I had counseling sessions, and it's just like talking about your pain. It's actually very exhausting. So when I experience it on my own skin, what means hypnotherapy, rapid transformational therapy, and past life regression, how deep you can actually heal and really understand who you are, take back your power, take back your voice, and just show up your identity, who you are. So then the all magic started to happen, and it's just, I absolutely love, it's my passion to help others, to walk them to the same journey that I did, but just maybe shorten a little bit them time, because I actually call myself, like, I went through so many dark nights of the souls through my past, you know. But look, that's my passion, to help other people to really see that there is no need to suffer. There's only root cause for that, and it's only the meaning that we are setting in our minds. So, and that's what I show to my clients, and I absolutely love what I do. And yeah, so that's my story very shortly. Thank you.
Mm. Thank you, Elsa, for sharing that. And beautiful. All right. Thank you so much. And we're going to go now, Jonathan, back to you, and just for you to pick up a thread of something you heard in Elsa, what she shared, and to briefly just acknowledge that and connect it in. And then Michelle will take it from there into our third part, please. Jonathan.
Yeah, so just that topic of, what's at the root of it, and, what's getting in the way of people just being themselves, and that, there's all this assignment of, negative or bad emotions, which they aren't. They're just signals that something matters to us, and it's up to us to decide what we do with that. And I think that's such an important and valuable insight and lesson.
Awesome. That's amazing. It has been such such a privilege to have each of you here today, and I'm conscious of the time being approaching the top of the hour, and valuing your time. We may just go a minute or two over here, but I just wanted to ask each of you for our third round to think of a word that describes how you felt today about the session, and the connections that you're experiencing here as you listen to Elsa and Adrian and Adriana and Lorna and Mark and Michael and Jonathan, how today landed for you, and how you would describe the energy in the room. So I'm going to go around and just collect your words. I'm wondering if Lorna, actually, if you would mind giving us your word for today.
Joy. Joy is the word that comes.
Awesome. Thank you. How about Mark? Mark, would you like to tell us how the session was for you in a word?
A great reminder of many things.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you. Elsa.
Guys, all what I want to say is world needs each and every one of you, and just more of us. So just gratitude, love, and blessing to everyone. Thank you.
Gratitude. Amazing. Michael?
Inspired, motivated. I've had 2 words.
Inspired and motivated. That's okay. We can do 2. How about you, Jonathan?
Intentional.
Intentional. That's amazing. Okay, and Adrian?
Oneness.
Oneness. And Adriana?
Roots.
Roots. And for me, I think I'm going to go with diversity, because I feel like each of you really brought yourselves to the room today, and even though we're all in the body, mind, and soul sort of arena, and we each bring our own special sauce, our own natural piece to it. And each of you really showed, who you are and the beautiful gifts that you brought, and that it was really diverse. So I want to thank you for that. And that's actually one of the strengths of, I think, what we're doing and building here in Body, Mind, and Soul. And I know that Adriana and Lorna and I have been thinking about how to continue to carefully craft and cultivate not just sort of adding a million people to a group just for groups, building a group's sake, but to actually create a culture of known quantities. Like, oh yeah, I know, like back in the day before the interwebs, and we had these mom and pop networks. It's like, oh yeah, I know Michael does this and Elsa does that, and oh yeah, hey, you should go talk to Adrian about this, or Mark, oh, he's a stonemason, he'll know about that. And like we used to have these connections, just almost like a referral network. And we wanted to recreate that sense of closeness, understanding, and reality, in the sense that, you know, we're all here digitally, but we're real. And so the real gifts that you bring are really appreciated here in the group. And we are also wanting to showcase you to the people who can connect with you, who can use your services. So as we kind of grow the network of beautiful souls and offers that are being brought together, we're cultivating the connection between providers and their clients. And one of the ways that we're doing that is by developing a community, a private end community that complements the Facebook group. And we are in that community providing higher content, more specific content, higher value content to you as providers, to help you continue to develop your skills, to connect better, to showcase yourself, bring visibility, collaborate, and bring your gifts to the world. So this community membership circle that we're building is going to give, increased visibility to your offers, increased collaborations. We're going to be doing a storefront to feature you and to give you things like a service swap market and need a guest type, access to each other's events, and to be able to build a referral program, so that when you remember, oh yeah, Elsa does this, and you send someone there, that you can, when they get into enroll in Elsa's offer, that you can have a referral fee for that. So we're building some business tools and collaboration opportunities, and just straight up good more detailed, valuable content for you in this community. And we're going to be launching it in the new year. And we're going to be starting, though, to build these the early stages, and we really want to have a great solid foundation, and the culture build, the early adopters and the culture builders that will keep it in that frame. So we're going to be starting in this next few days to open it up, and we will be opening it up at an early adopter rate. And so until November 30th, we're going to be doing a low offer of $17 a month. And then by the end of the year, it will be $27. And then we'll launch to the public in January. And anyone who joins before gets to keep the special rate that they get when they join. So we're doing that in this coming weeks. Watch for the link, because we're going to be building that, and we really just want to be able to enable people like you who have these heart-based natural gifts that you're sharing with the world, because we know that it can be hard to get yourself out there, and just support you in doing that. So I don't know if I've missed anything, but we love having you here on the networking connections circle. We'd also like to offer you a free one-to-one deeper dive. So if you would like, now that you've been here on Connection Circle, just knock on Adriana or Lorna or I's virtual door and say, yeah, I'd love to do the 15-minute deep dive interview on my service, and we will do that and cast it to the group as well to give you a little bit more promotion. So anything else, Lorna, Adriana, that I've...
Yeah, and again, just thank you each for being here, and what Adriana and Michelle and I have each experienced is that piece about collaboration. In fact, we met through a networking group that we had never met each other before that. And as we connected through there to collaborate, and the ways that we're supporting each other, creating this community. And so, like Mark's been here before in our connection circle before. So please come back as many times as you want, register again. You'll get to meet more amazing people as well. And so that's one of the things we really see is the value of this community as it is right now, is having those opportunities to be visible. Each time we share, it's like our what we share evolves, and so we get to share, and nothing is static here. And so feel free to come back again. We invite you to hear, those of you who are in the circle and those of you who are listening, is connect with each other. If you're not already friends, connect with each other and get to know each other. Look for ways where you can thrive in this connection and with one another, and maybe collaborations that show up. And certainly you're welcome to come back here. And we do invite you to take advantage of that one-on-one interview, because that it'll be a 15-minute interview that's just you and streamed into this group as well, and that will stay there as a virtual business card for yourself as well, because we really want to support you in sharing your gifts and letting your people hear and see you and to know how to connect with you. So thank you again, each of you, for being here, for who you are in this world and the gifts that you bring, the gifts that you are. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
and thank you. I saw in the chat here, Michael just dropped the offer where he has a book that he'll be sharing, and want to make sure that each of you share on your. We'll tag you in the posts so that you can drop your links where people can connect with you. Please, those of you watching, connect with Lorna and Adriana and Jonathan and Mark and Michael and Elsa and Adrian about their offers. And yeah, we're looking forward to just continuing that networking in the group with you. So thanks for being here. Adriana, do you want to take us out?
Yeah, and definitely we will. I saw Jonathan ask for the link. We will send you. I will send you the link for the to register, or to schedule your interview. You will choose which one, whatever time is best for you, because we different time zones. So whatever works for you. Especially, I know in Portugal is like it's you close to go to sleep now, so it's different time zones. So you can choose a pick from one of us, and of course, definitely anybody else, just contact us, and then we'll send you the link to register for your interview. And also, like I just repeating what Michelle and Lorna said, we really don't take it lightly. I always say this: the most precious thing we all have, it's our time. And you taking the time to be here, from your families, from your loved one, to be here for an hour and a bit, it's our honor and pleasure to have you here, to hear that we know that if we are a tribe, that we grow in the tribe, that coming back to who we are as humanity, because in the end we're all humans. Before anything else, before our gifts, we are humans, and we're here to help and support each other, because that's the only way this humanity is going to continue evolve and thrive, is to come together, come back to who we are as a nation, as a universe, one verse. And I leave you with that. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and for those that are watching on our live or replay on our group. We'd love to hear your comments, your feedback. And also, if you love what you see, bring a guest, come back with someone else that you know they need to be here on our event. We're going to do another event in 2 weeks. And also, you can join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Our pleasure to be here. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.